Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, we are from 10th group of Socialinguistics. So now we would like to explain about materials related with speech function, politeness, and cross-cultural communication. We also consist by three members, namely Muhammad Rifli Hussein, Nur Faizah, and Teti Lestari. So here the table of content or topics that we would like to explain to you all. The first topic, it is about speech function, followed by politeness, and the last topic, it is about cross-cultural communication. So here, speech function. Speech function is a way of someone delivers ideas in communication to make listener understand the ideas well. And another opinion also conveyed by Holmes 1999 that described the speech function has two functions. First, it is about the affective or social function, and the second one is the referential or informative function. And here are the three essential components of every interaction by people to build a good communication. First, there is speaker or expressive, and then the second one, the addressee or directive, and the third one is the message or the referentials. This is very important things that very related with all the components and also for every interaction by humans. And here, the following list has proved as a useful one in sociolinguistic research that has been explained by another researcher. And there are numbers of ways of categorizing or types the function of speech. Namely, the first one is expressive utterance that express the speaker's feeling, the speaker's emotion. For the example here, there is one sentence is, "I'm feeling great today." It can be declare that the speaker has a feeling great or happiness, or another one also you can express your angriness, madness, regret, and etc. And the second one is directive utterance that attempt to get someone to do something for you. For the example here, clear the table, or you also can use another sentences, open the window or close the door, something like that. And the third one is referential utterance that provide information in that sentences. For the example here, at the third stroke, it will be 3 o'clock precisely. There is an information contained in that sentences that you can use for your knowledge or for your benefit to do something in the next step. And the fourth one is metalinguistic utterance common on language itself. That common on language itself, it means that related with the language, with another word of the language, or related with the language. For the example here, hegemony is not a common word. It relates with the language. That hegemony is something that uh, we can see, uh, we can usually define that the explanation of hegemony is related with the language factor. And another one is poetic utterance, focus on aesthetic features on a language. It literally, and also we can see, we can use a poetic utterance to build some a poem or literature work and etc. because it means that relate with the beautifulness of the word or aesthetic, or that a literature desire to do something, to do express their feelings. For here, for the example is in a poem or an ear-catching motto, a rhyme in a prose, something that Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. It called as a rhyme that relate with all of the word that has been conveyed by the speaker. And the last one is pathic utterance that express solidarity and empathy with others. For the example here, greeting. Hi, how are you? It is a lovely day, isn't it? Something like that. That very express the empathiness and the friendliness to each others. And here, there are another opinion that has been conveyed by another researcher that it can be addition for the speech function types, and each group has its own specific feature. For the example, there is commissive or promises and threats. And here, there is one sentences that explain the promises or threats. In the sentences, I swear, I'll do my revenge. In I swear, it means that a promises a threatness to do something like a revenge in the next step, in the next action. And the second addition, it is about performatives or declaration. For the example, and now I declare you as a husband and wife. There is declaration. There's declaration sentences that contain by information and also declare that something happened in the past and now it has been legal to do something like that. In the third one, there is directives, and the directives are concerned with getting people to do things, but in the politeness way. In the polite attempts to get people to do something in English, tend to use interrogatives or declarative. For the example as the following illustrate by sit down. It means that sit down include by imperative way. Or you sit down, you plus imperative. Or another example also, could you sit down? With the politeness, with the interrogative with modal frame. Or another example is, I want you to sit down. It means that declarative one. So the directive is also concerned with the politeness, how to speak, how to convey your meaning, your attempt to do something for people, but in the polite way. And getting people to do something, it's not just imperative way, but here we can learn that directive. Also, we can use directive as the another way, another alternative way to get some people to do something for us. Another example is, you had be more comfortable sitting down. It means that declarative, you can use declarative as imperative way. And here, the factor that affect people using directive, for the example, there is the social distance between participants, and then the relative status, and the second, and the last one is the formality of the context that relate with us. For the example, me and my lecturer, or my students, or my teacher that has been experience with another story, that we can use another way to speak with them. For the example, in the relative status, me and my sister or my brother, it means that we have a close relative, we have close relation, that we can use the chilling or the slang or something like that. But in the formality of the context, for the example, me and my lecturer or my teacher, it means that we have to be a polite, we have to have the formal sentences. That means that we can express that we respect them with our languages. Okay, so here are the language politeness will be delivered by my friend. For Teti Lestari, time is yours.
Okay, the next material will be delivered by me, Teta Study. So, next material is about English language politeness. Type of politeness. The first one is positive politeness strategies. Positive politeness strategy are intended to avoid giving offense by highlighting red lines. These strategies include just stopping criticism with compliments, establishing and then common ground, and using jokes, nickname, honorifics, take question, and then special resources maker like please and in group. For example, positive comment before and after criticism. So the second is negative politeness strategies. Negative politeness strategy are intended to avoid giving offense by showing differences. The strategies include questioning, heading, and presenting disagreement or option like that. For example, negative politeness strategies occur in 1546 when Catherine Parr, the sixth and final wife of Henry was nearly arrested for her outspoken religious views. She managed to declare the king's anger to deference and presenting her disagreement as were options like that. Uh, then she had offered up so that he could be distracted from his painful health problem. And then linguist, and then the next one is linguistic polytonies, is sometimes referred to as the fact-saving theory polytonies. The theory has several segments and um, corollaries, but it all revolves around the concept of faith or a social value, both to oneself and to other. Thus, polytonous strategies develop to negotiative this interaction and achieve the most favorable outcomes. For examples and observation, shut up is a rude even ruder than keep quiet in the polite version. So guys, maybe the next material will be delivered by my friend.
Okay, thank you, Miss Teti. Next is cross-cultural communication. Cross-cultural communication is a language, is a both system of communication between individuals and social phenomena. Sociolinguistics can be given a broader limit and consider question of language and culture and ethnic rather than just language and society. This broader is labeled as anthropological linguistics. Okay, now next slide. Next, anthropology is a holistic science which is encompasses every aspect of human society and culture at present. Typical issues in anthropological linguistics are relativity, kinship terms, color term system address, honorifics, politeness, or different modes communication across the culture. There are two main branches of anthropology versus cultural or social anthropology, which is studies living human societies and their cultural system. Next is physical and or biological anthropology, which is primarily concerned with human evolution at much greater time depth. Okay, next, now next slide. Okay, now the ethnography communication. Ethnography communication is concerned with cultural and social differences in acts of communication, in particular what additional features accompany speech. The cultural assumption we have internalized in our childhood as a part of the process of socialization guide our social and linguistic behavior for the rest of our lives. Now, next slide. Next is color terms. Color terms for a word basic in color terms is first is must be lexeme and morphologically simple. So reddish is not such a term. Next, it must not be included into another term because or eth spia, which is kind of brown. It is not limited to subset which is of the subject which it can classify, or blonde, which is only refers to hair. It must be well known and listed among the color terms in a language, something that exclude English, turquoise, or lilac. Okay. Okay, I think that's all from me. I'm so sorry if I am mistaken. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for your attention. Bye bye.